Hey guys, and welcome back to our Flappy tutorial. I think in our last video we talked about how to use the parallax background to create a scrolling effect, which we use to create for our sky and our floor. I think as you can see, we run this. Yeah, then we also did a random background at the start of our game. So anytime our game loads, actually going to pick a different background. So now what we want to work on is our player. So I think let's head on to our project setting, go to our input map. Then for this, we're gonna actually set some action, which is going to be used for whenever our player clicks on the jump. Let's set this to flap add, then gonna use our space. So whenever the user click on the space button, and I think let's add also our left mouse button. Then I think that's it. So now let's create a new node. Then our plan is going to be of the type area 2D. So let's head and create that. We're going to rename this player. And as a child of our player, we're going to add an animated sprite. Okay, so here, an animated sprite. Also, gonna need a collision shape 2D. Then lastly, our animation player. So our animation player is just basically we're gonna use it for the ready. Whenever our player is ready, that's when the countdown timer starts when the play before the game begin. All we just want is our player to stay on a single direction, then move upwards and downward, which we're going to use an animation player for that. So head over to animation sprite 2D, create a new sprite, and let's add some red yellow. So what we want to work on is just like our background. At the start of our game, we want to pick a random bed. So let's let's just rename these values and blue black. Okay, so I've got three bed here. I got blue, red, and yellow. So at the start of our game, we want to pick any one of them, just like we worked on our background. But this is just going to be a little bit different. So let's just drag and drop. Okay, drop this and yellow. Okay, now let's test this. Okay, so I think the bed is a little bit too fast for me, so I'm just going to reduce the speed to 0.3 is fine. Let's test. Okay, yeah, so this okay, much better. Now, I think let's add a collision shape. So we're gonna add a circle. Then we're gonna drag this and scale it. Okay, guys. Oh, that's just way too big. And let's go for 11. probably 12. And yeah, I think 12 is okay. Now, I think let's save this for now. So head over to our scene. We're going to create a different folder. Name this actor, and probably we should just name the player things. But anyhow, anyway, so save this. And yeah, now I think let's work on the ready animation I was telling you about. So let's create a new animation and we're going to call this get ready. And then what we want to do is we want to move our sprite. We don't want to move our player node because then the animation is going to set the position for our player. Instead, we want to move our sprite. So go to your animation, then let's go to our sprite and set its position. So one thing you might know is anytime we change this, it's actually going to change our panel here. So what I want to do is just go to our animated sprite. Then we're going to switch this to our animation. So you don't want to, so you can be able to set this from here. So for our position at the beginning, you can set this to 00. Create a reset track. I think you can leave that. Then let's move. I think 0.5 is okay for our animation. Then let's move it on our y-axis. So I think let's move it upward -16, and yeah, that should be okay. Yeah. So let's play this. Okay, that's good. Okay. Now we want to set this to loop, which is okay. Now I think that's okay. That's okay. Now, one thing we might want to do is we can actually see this isn't actually a smooth animation. So all we're going to go here, then set this to cubic. So yeah, cubic actually going to give us a way smoother animation. That is. Then one thing you might notice is the collision shape is actually constant whenever our bed is moving. Instead, what we want is want our collision to follow the bed to avoid any error in our game during player detection. So just going to stop this, then head over to the collision. Under its transform, going to set its position, then move over here, then set its y-axis to -16. Yeah, so let's add this to and let's play. Yeah, so one thing you also want to do is set this cubic body. Okay, yes. Now I think already animation for our bed is okay. Now let's head over to our player, add the script. I think set this to empty, the directory is okay, and create. Now I think let's start off by creating the random bed I told you about. So we're going to use our ready function to get our animated sprite. Then let's do an animated sprite 2D. Okay, now get node. Okay, yeah. One else, I think one else, I think it's okay. So we're going to go to our create a ready function. Now in our ready function, we actually want to create a variable. Now what this variable is going to be, this variable is going to hold an array. So it's going to hold an array of all the sprite, all these animation, the blue, red, and the yellow. So we want to hold them in an array value. So I think let me just zoom this so it will be clear. So okay, I want to do is get new, sorry, not get new, I mean animated sprite. So we get our animated sprite, then we're going to get its sprite frame. So sprite frames dot, I think, however, get animations names. So I think let's just print this out so you can actually see. So this is going to just return an array of all our animations. And yeah, as you can see, we have blue, red, and our yellow flag. Now, what we want to do now, just like our background, we're going to get a random value and set it as its animation. Now, we're going to call our animated sprite dot animation is equal to our animation. Yeah, then is I want to get a random value, then that is our animation dot size. So yeah, this is going to give us sprite, a random sprite bird at the beginning of our game. So I don't know why this. Okay, so let's just move this. Oh, uh, our player. Think let's just put it as a group here and run this. Okay, now as you can see, we got our yellow Flappy. If I run this again, we get our red Flappy now. So it's giving us a random bird at the start of our game. Okay, so now let's work on our bird movement. So first up, let's add some jump velocity. So this is going to be how high our bed is going to jump. I think let's name this all capture, which we're going to be using the const. We can actually use an export, but no, I don't think we need that since, or you should use an export if you want to change the bed jump velocity that fits your need. Yeah. Then also we're going to create velocity, which is going to be of a type vector 2 and vector 2 dot 0. Okay, now I think let's move this our code to a function. So we just call this random bird is going to return a void, and Yeah. So all we need to do now is call this function. Now, what we want to do now is the player's gravity. So this is going to be how fast our bed is going to fall. So I think our area 2D already has a gravity variable declared. All we're just going to do now just set its value to 500. I think 500 is okay. But you can just play with this value, whatever you like. And yeah, I think that is it. So declare our process function. And for our process, we want our bed to fall down. So this is going to be our gravity times delta. So this is going to make our bed move downwards whenever the game starts. Whenever the player isn't pressing the flap button, that's our jump button. So now what we want is if our player is asking just press flap, and what we want to do is velocity dot y is equals to our jump velocity. Okay, so I think that's okay. Then I think let's play our animation. Yeah. So I think let's test this out. Okay, our bed isn't falling. Why is that? Hmm. Okay, so wait. Okay, yeah. So we need to update its position velocity delta. Then let's rename this to actually velocity. So just highlight this, then Ctrl R on your keyboard to replace, then rename this to velocity, then replace all. Yeah, put this in much way to avoid errors. Now let's run this, and yeah, so as you can see, whenever we tap, our bed is actually going to fly. So our player up. Now, one thing we might want to work on now is the look up or down for our bed. So whenever we click on the jump button, we want our bed to look up. Then whenever it's falling, we want it to look downward. So let's work on that. So I think this is actually really easy. So all we don't need to do is update its rotation. So if our bed is looking up, we want it to face a 45-degree rotation. But when it's looking up, we want it to face a negative 45. Then also, I think for the fall, we just need to make sure whenever the velocity, our velocity dot y, so when it reaches 0, that means our player is about to begin to fall. We want our bed to start looking downward. So I think let's start like this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to say rotation. So let's put this our rotation degrees. I think we're going to use our rotation degrees. When we don't want our bed to look more than the 45 degrees. So if our rotation degree is less than 45 and if its velocity dot y is, I think, greater than 0, so that means our bed is falling, then we want our rotation degree to add up. I think let's create a rotation speed. So this is going to be the speed on how fast our bird is going to rotate. I think let's just declare that up here. Rotation speed, right? And let's say this equals to probably 300. Yeah, I think this better be a const. So, okay, so now this is going to be for whenever our bed is falling. Now, for the lookup, we're going to use an else. So that means if one of these isn't true, that means our player is actually jumping. And I think that's this. So basically, this is actually going to be the one that is going to make it false actually. Then what you want to do is if so we don't want our player to go more than a more than its rotation, more less than, I think, since it's a negative, we don't want it to go less than a negative 45 degree. So if our rotation degree, we're going to use a greater than 45. Yeah, so if our rotation degree is 43, it means 43 is actually greater because this is a negative, the lower value, the value closer to zeros are actually greater. So we want our rotation degree negative. So we want it to start to look upward. Then our rotation speed times delta. Yeah, I think this should be good. So let's test this out. Okay, yeah, so you can see, oh, this is actually really nice. So whenever a bed is falling, it's going to look downwards. Then if you click on this button, it's going to look upward. Yeah. Now, what do we need to work on again? Now let's actually work on the collision detection for a player whenever it collides with its sprite, with a pipe. Sorry. Then go to our node. So for our pipe, when we're going to create our pipe, that is actually going to be on a different episode. Our pipe is going to be of a character body today, so we want to use our body entered. Body entered, connect that. Then I think what we want to do is we want to stop our player. So we want the animation sprite to stop, our animated sprite dot stop. Yeah, so this okay. Also, we want to emit a signal. So head up to the top of the code signal. We're going to make this signal game over. Then and say game over dot emit. Now we can test this now since we have created a pipe. We test this soon, and I think that should be it for this episode. So thanks for watching, and probably next up we'll start on our pipe.